I'm going to talk about what are the various stages of a lawsuit. There are 5. The first is the legal claim. Before there's even a lawsuit filed, there's what's known as a claim. That usually starts with a notice of claim being sent by an attorney on behalf of a client to an insurance company or a defendant. And the notice of claim process involves the gathering, usually by the attorney, of important evidence and other information, such as medical bills, medical records, a forecast of future medical care needs, an estimate of lost wages, maybe a letter from the employer detailing the days missed from work due to the injury, maybe a forecast of future loss of earnings. Depends on the injury, but you can kind of understand how every case might be different in terms of how an injury affects a person's life. So that information gets gathered early in stage 1. And it's really an ongoing process because typically the client is, at least in a serious injury case, probably still going to the doctor. Stage 2, if the case cannot be settled without the necessity of filing suit, we file suit. Now we're in what's called the litigation stage. The first thing that happens in the litigation stage after we file suit is what's called the discovery process. Discovery is a lawyer word that basically means the written exchange of information from one side to the other. We might serve subpoenas requesting documents. We might be required to fill out under oath answers to questions. There's also oral depositions that are taken. Those are witness statements, kind of like what you see on TV in a courtroom, but they take place in a lawyer's conference room usually. We might take the statements of parties to the lawsuit. We might take the statements of non-party witnesses to the lawsuit. They might be company witnesses. They might be eyewitnesses to a crash. The next stage is what's called a mediation, typically, and that's a settlement conference, usually court-ordered, before the trial, where two sides, or 3, or however many there are, try to get together and see if they can reach an out-of-court settlement before the trial of the case. And then the 5th stage that I mentioned is actually the trial of the case. And that's a pretty long answer about what all a trial involves, but if you've seen some TV, you kind of have a rough idea of what a trial is. What I haven't discussed are the other stages that may take place after a trial, such as an appeal. But the important thing for you to know is, despite all of these stages, you can settle a case at any one of these stages.